What's going on, guys? It's your boy Sega Man back with another video. Happy holidays to everybody. Happy holidays to everybody, man. I hope you guys are getting everything that you want for Christmas and you guys are going to be happy, with Christmas, with your children and your family, man. Hoping that you get your kids, if you have kids, and a wife or whatever, what they really wanted for Christmas, man. Because the thing about it is always to give than receive. There's nothing better than seeing your kids honestly and your wife or your significant other or whoever smiling and happy and excited because of something that you got them from Christmas for Christmas from the heart. You know what I mean? So I really hope you guys enjoyed yesterday our Christmas special of the Exile podcast. We had a great time on there. You know what I'm saying? We had a lot of fun on there, man. It was really good to do that. Our first Christmas, you know what I mean? It really meant something to me. You know what I'm saying? We had a lot of people in the chat. Shout out to the chat in the Exile chat. They were on fire last night, man. A lot of people showed up. It was very awesome, man. It was a very awesome podcast that we had. Now, unfortunately, we didn't give away nothing on the podcast, but what I'm going to do is probably before the end of the year is out, I'm going to do another special podcast, maybe on the alpha or just a podcast, and I'm going to give out a gift card. I'm going to give out a Microsoft gift card to somebody out in the chat. This is the stuff I want to do. I like to give, when I can, I like to give. So I'm going to give out a Microsoft gift card. It might be probably like a $15 gift card. You know what I'm saying? It can go towards something you might want to buy, something for the specials that are going on that you can put towards something you might want to buy on the Xbox. But I'm going to give away another $15 gift card, man, for us, from us to you guys for supporting the Xbox Alpha podcast, supporting the Exile podcast, and also supporting Unlimited podcast. And even we got next with Hebot when he does it, my brother Hebot. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be a little gift from me. So what I want to get into today, guys, for a lot of people that have just actually subscribed to me or have joined me on my Exile podcast, some of you might not have seen the retro stuff that I collect. So today, on this Retro Monday, I'm going to call it, we're going to go back from a blast from the past. I'm going to show you a system in box, talk a little bit about it, and also show you some games. I'm going to show you some games. So, what I'm talking about is, you guys know I'm a huge Sega fan. I have been since I was a kid. For a very long time, I've been with Sega. Now, I don't really agree with what Sega does today. I really don't. I'm kind of disappointed in their business ways when it comes to gaming. I don't know what they're really doing over there. You know what I mean? So, I'm kind of disappointed with this, this Sega. But when I was growing up, the OG Sega was really, really good, really, really good to me and near and dear in my heart. So I'm actually an OG Sega fan and collector. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to show you guys today is I'm going to show you the Sega Master System 2. This is for people that have never seen this before. This is in box, complete. I'm going to take it out of the box and show you the Sega Master System 2. This system is very expensive right now, especially if it's not in box, it's still going to be expensive. But if you can find one with a box, it might even be more. And even some of the games out there are expensive. It depends on what the game is. Some of the games you can get cheap, just getting a cartridge, but every time something is complete, and you guys pretty much should know this, it's going to cost you a lot more. So let's get into it, guys. Let's take a look at Blast from the Past at the Sega Master System 2, man. Now, this is the Sega Master System 2, guys. In the box and in its entirety, this is the Sega Master System 2. A long time ago, probably about, I'd say a good maybe 5 years ago, could be even a little longer, could be like 6, 7 years ago. I picked this up at my exchange. I did a trade for some games that I had, and they had this bad boy in the box for I think it was $80. Now that's not bad comparing to what it would cost now. but I think it was around 80 bucks. Now I ended up paying with my trade, I ended up paying like $40 for this system because I had a trade. I used my trade slip and I got the Sega Master System 2 in box. Now I own the Sega Master System 1 system. That's down stairs hooked up in my game room. I didn't want to unhook that. I want to keep that hooked up, but I want to show you the Master System 2. For people that didn't know, there was a second version of the Master System. Okay, this is Sega's 8-bit system. This was kind of the answer to Nintendo's 8-bit system. No, the Sega Master System, no, it did not really, and let's be honest, it didn't really compete with the Nintendo Entertainment System. That was the darling system of those years. You know what I mean? It dominated. You know what I mean? But it's called competition. And Sega wanted to compete, and they made the Master System 1. Came out with the Master System 2, which we're seeing here right now, which is a more sleek system. Very attractive looking system, actually. And they did a good job making the prosthetics and the cosmetics of this system very well done. So let's take a look at the system. I'm going to take it out of the box. Let's take a look. Oh, and before I do that, on the back, it has some advertisements of some games on the back here, as you can see. You know what I mean? Of different games that came out for the system. If you can see that very well. You're not going to probably see it real well on my camera, but that is some of the games that came up for the system. They had artwork on the sides of the box also. You know what I mean? On both sides. Now, whoever owned this, right? Look what they did to it. Now, whoever owned this, okay, look at what they did to it. Now, I don't know if they were practicing shooting a BB gun or something like that, but they actually put holes in the side of this, and that was kind of disappointing. That's how you know people that don't give a shit or care about collecting and preserving gaming when you destroy, the box that it comes in. That's the main thing back when you were a kid or when you got a system. You were so excited to get the system, you just threw the box in the goddamn garbage. But what we didn't know, and it's not really our fault, we honestly didn't know that maybe we weren't going to come collectors and want to put it back in a box because you're not thinking about that when you're a kid. But when you're into collecting, if you can get it in the box, that's what you should do. And you should try to preserve it and keep it up as best as you can. So let's get into it and let's look at the system. Now, besides the holes in the side of the box, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good, you know. And you're not going to find an original box anywhere unless it's like I don't know, somebody remakes a box. You know what I mean? If there is a original box out there, that box you could pay a lot for just getting the box. You know what I mean? But I thought about like trying to poke out the side, and put some tape in the inside just to make it look a little better. So I might work on that later. So, but let's take the system out. Let's take a look at the Master System 2. Look how small that is. That's a small system, right? Very small system. You know what I mean? What was also good about this is it had built into the system. When you turned it on, it had Alex. It had Alex Kidd, in the Miracle World game built into the system, which was pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? That's actually an extra one up to have the system. It was built into there. Some other systems actually came with different games built into it, I believe, but mine happened to be Wonder Boy. You know what I mean? Or I mean, not Wonder Boy, but Alex Kidd, which is I think it's Wonder Boy that was also built into one of them too. But Alex Kidd was built into the Master System. Now let's take a nice look at this. Okay, this is the Master System 2, man. They did a great job on the cosmetics of this system. Very well done. Very nice gray color. The Sega Master System logo up at the top. You know what I'm saying? It's going to have a little bit of a glare because of my lighting. But it should look better when you watch this on, on my channel on YouTube. But that's it right there, man. Very nice. And what was cool about this is where you put the game in. The game goes in here. You just lift this up. It's nice and tight. You know what I mean? Nice and tight in there. It's not loosey-goosey. Because if it was loosey-goosey, whoever owned this system probably didn't use it that much, to be honest with you. Because when you get them, some of them that really wore the system out and use it a lot, that thing probably just goes, up and down real quick and it's real loose. But I like that it's like that because it's kind of preserved and, it's nice and tight, at the top, to put when you put your games in and stuff like that. That is the inside, and you can see some of the motherboard inside of the Master System too. You know what I mean? And you just put the game inside there. Now, they did a really nice job with this. Now, if you notice on this, it doesn't have the cartridge slot where you could play the the Slim card games in the Master System too. They took that out because what they did is they made this a more affordable system. They made this a cheaper version of the first Master System. So they took that out. So unfortunately, if you get one of these, you're not going to be able to play the Slim cards, which I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys some games, what those look like that you can play in the Master System 1. Now, on the back here, has the power, right? It has the power. And it also has the in-out. It has channel, I think it's channel 3. Yeah, and channel 4 on the back because of the old TVs. You could switch from channel 4 to channel 3 on the back on your older TVs. And it has the RF on the back, for the audio video on the back. So the back is not really much to look at, but that's what it looks like, the back of it, right? And this is the bottom of it, right? And if you look at the bottom of it, it has the Sega logo, model number, and it just says the power base. You know what I mean? But it's very nice. The buttons are very, very clean, very nice. This is the power on and off button right here. All right, and then that's where you put the controllers in the front. And I will show you the controller here in a minute. But it's a very nice, sleek system, guys. And I think they did a really good job with the way it looks. For back in the day, people was like, man, that's really cool and sleek. That's a nice, 8-bit Sega Master System. The Master System 2. But this is beautiful. I preserve it very well. It's very clean. I like to keep my stuff in good shape. You know what I mean? And be nice and clean and preserve it. You know what I mean? So that's a look at the Master System 2. Now let's take a look real quick at the controller. Some of you might not have seen the controller before. Now this is an old school. This is where you hook it up. All right. This is old school. Okay. So you have to screw this in the back of your coaxial in the back of your in the back of your TV if you still have one. Some TVs still put that on there, and you can still enjoy playing some of these old school systems. You know what I mean? But this is actually the component that you hook up, the RF. Okay, that's it right there. That's what it looks like. Just showing you everything in its entirety. So it goes into the back of your TV. Now we also got here. Let's show you. You don't really need to see the power pack, but I mean, I'll show you it if you want me to. This is the controller. For people who have never seen a Master System controller, that's what the Master System controller looks like. 2 buttons here. I mean, they did a decent job with the color. I really like the color of it. They made it like bold black burgundy. You know what I mean? For back in the day, it lets you know that this was more of for an older, gamer, that's a little bit more hardcore. And that's what they did with the Sega Genesis also. It's more, I think the Sega Genesis and the Master Systems were mainly to attract, teenagers, the hardcore, like cool, like rad dudes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? For back in the day. Now the Nintendo system, yes, I know older kids played it, but it was kind of like a kiddie system. I'm not putting nothing down about a Super Nintendo. I own one, and I own original Nintendo, but it was more aimed, I think, to be honest with you, to younger kids that were like 5, 6, and up. You know what I mean? This was more towards like a teenager, like 12, 13 and up. 14, like more like, yeah, I'm bad, I'm cool. This is a bad system. You know what I mean? So that's who I think it was aimed towards the most. But this is what the controller pad actually looked like, man. And I think they did an awesome job with that. You know what I mean? So it came with a controller pad. You know what I'm saying? And the plug is not really nothing to look at. You know what I mean? So I don't want to make make the video like super long because I want to still show you guys some games. But this is it here. This is the power pack. It's a small power pack that goes with the the Master System too. You know what I mean? So let's get this back. Let's get this bad boy. Excuse me, back in the box so I can show you guys some games that I have for it. Now, I have a big collection of Master System games. I have a lot that are in box, and I have a lot that are just cartridge. I'm not going to show you every last one. That would take probably a couple hours, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? To talk to you and tell you about the Master Systems games that I have and I own. But also, at least, and also what I like about this is it actually came. It actually came. Check this out. Everything. That it? Yeah. Everything was actually in it. It came with the instruction manual, which is a looks like a graphic sheet, like a plain graphic sheet. Showing you the basics of how to hook your Master System up. And it even came with it even came with the Alex Kidd in Miracle World book, the little booklet, and it didn't even come with a cartridge, but they wanted to put this in there. So this is a complete in-box system with everything in its entirety that is supposed to be in it, which is a one-up. You know what I mean? So let's get this bad boy back into the box so I can show you guys the games that I picked up a long time ago. Actually, when I picked my Master System games up, to be honest with you, I didn't even own a Master System 1. But I was in an old, it's called a red, white, and blue store down here, which is a thrift store. They call it the red, white, and blue. It was a thrift store that was in Bellevue, Westview, where I used to live. Right? And I would go down there all the time, you know, trying to look for games. Sometimes I would have luck. Sometimes I wouldn't have too much luck. Okay? This day I did. Some of these games are in here that I got there, and they were unbelievable price. They were in box, and they were $2 a piece. I bought every last one. And I said, one day I'm going to own a Master System. So I might as well just pick these games up right now that are in box complete, right? $2 a piece. So I was going to pick those up. I could not let those stay there. And it took a long time, probably like 2 years later, maybe a little longer, I got a Master System 1. And I had games to enjoy it with. That's why it's good to buy these games ahead of time, and you might be able to find a system out in the wild for a good price and already have games to play for it instead of going out and searching for games. So let's get into some of the games that we got here, guys, real quick. These are these here are the cards that go into the Master System. This game is called Teddy Boy. It's the Sega card, and it's a pretty neat platforming game. As you can see, the art of this, the lighting's going to be bad because it's a white background, but the art of this was simple and plain. You know what I mean? Kind of looks like a graphic paper, and it shows a guy, holding a card. They didn't really do a lot of artsy things with the Sega Master, artwork. Some of the games you get they might have added a little more, but it's not looking like something like a Sega Genesis, in box in the artwork. It was very, very plain, very simple, very retro looking, in my opinion. I believe this is a retro look, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And I'll show you what the card actually looks like. Now, like I said, I like to preserve my stuff and keep it in its entirety. But that's what it looks like with the book inside and the plastic covering over it. To preserve these games. Because if you don't keep these games up, believe me, these pens on this, I believe they can actually rust if you don't keep these up right. But this is the cartridge. Let me hold it like the guy on the front. But this is what it looks like. This goes inside the Sega Master System 1. Yes, it kind of looks like a TurboGrafx-16 game, right? But guess who did it first? Sega. Sega Master System was out before the TurboGrafx-16, I believe, and they did it first. And that is Teddy Boy. And look at, the graphic on the front, it's plain and simple. You know what I mean? But, Sega was always, ahead of its time when it came to gaming. They always were. When I got into the video game business with certain things like they did with peripherals and different things like Sega brought to the table back in the day, the OG Sega. But that's what it looks like, guys. You just slip that in there, you turn the system on, you start playing it. Of course, this one came with the instruction manual and everything. But yeah, man, it's very nice, and you should always keep these up. If you have the plastic protection for the connection to go on your game, then you need to put it back in there and leave it the way it is, the way it's supposed to be, and the way it's supposed to be presented. So that's another good game that actually came out for the Sega Master System. This one is called Ghost House. This is another one, plain and simple. Now this game didn't come, I believe, with. I think this was one of the ones I got at the Red, White, and Blue store for $2. This one did not come with no instruction manual and no plastic, and I haven't been able to find the replacement things to put on there. You know what I mean? So I just try to keep it nice and neat in here. And I might actually cut a piece of like a thin styrofoam to put in here to keep it in place so it doesn't get knocked around. But this is what it looks like, guys. That's Ghost House. Looks like you see on the front. That's the card again. The card is in excellent condition. I will say that. It's in excellent condition though. But you can't pass that up because these games right now are way more than $2. Way more than $2 right now. But that's another one just to show you some of the Sega Genesis cards that you put inside the Master System. So moving ahead, I'm going to show you some of my favorite games that I played and collect for the Master System. All these games are in box, okay? And the first one I'm going to show you, which is a cult classic, retro favorite of a lot of Sega Genesis fans and or Sega fans in general, and that is Outrun. It is the 2 mega cartridge. All right, very simple, a very plain looking box. Okay, but Outrun is an all-time cult favorite arcadish racing game. Very fun game, guys. If you can find these games out in the wild and you get a Master System, even if it's not in box, pick it up because this stuff is really becoming expensive. Mine is complete. Mine is complete. This is Outrun. I got this one from the Red, White, and Blue store for $2. Perfect condition, right? Perfect condition, guys. Very great game. You can see some of the graphics on the back of it. Let's try to show you there. See some of the graphics of the 8-bit Outrun game. But you know what, guys, real quick, with these new gen systems that we have right now, like the Xbox Series X and S, a lot of these games a lot of the games that are in the indie program are 8-bit games. There's a lot of 8-bit games in there, and some 16-bit, I believe, but a lot of 8-bit games are indie games that are great games that remind you, like me, an OG, of back in the day what they did on Nintendo Entertainment System and what they did on the Sega Master System. Because there's a lot of people that love that generation, these developers, and that's why they make these games because it's a nostalgia thing for them. Collecting and being a retro collector is big today. The nostalgia for this stuff is great. That's why a lot of these prices are so high when you want to collect super retro like me and he bought. You know what I mean? And it's not cheap. It's not cheap. we grew up in those days, so we were able to actually get these games when they were starting to go out and the new was going to come in, and you can get them cheaper. You can get them cheaper like at Children's Palace back in the day, Toys R Us, Babbage's. Anybody remember it being the store called Babbage's? I think that all turned into GameStop. But Babbage's is what I remember it being called. You know what I mean? And Electronics Boutique. So it was called that also. So the next one we got here, these are two great games. I think these are kind of expensive to collect for now, but they also made some great games that that had to deal with movies also, like they still do today sometimes, right? So we got Rambo on the Sega Master System. You know what I mean? Rocky, Rambo. You know what I mean? So Sylvester Stallone, man, that's when Sylvester Stallone was in his prime. You know what I mean? And they made a Rambo game for the Master System. This is also complete. Rambo, it's First Blood Part 2. That's also complete. Very excellent condition. I played the game. It's a fun game. It's an awesome shooter, 8-bit shooter. But that's Rambo, man, in its entirety. You know what I mean? Yeah, these games they're expensive now. But I mean, you could probably find the cartridges a tad bit cheaper. It depends. eBay, it just depends, guys. But these people today, they want to charge outrageous prices for these games. It would be nice to see these games come on the Xbox Series S and X. It would be great to see these games come on there. They surprised us with some Genesis games that came on like Wings of War. You know what I mean? Wings of War. They surprised us with some of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I think they're going to keep doing that. They're just going to do it and not say nothing about it. Phil, I believe Phil answered my calling. I'm being honest with you. I think Phil answered my calling because when I talked about wanting shoot 'em Sega old school Sega Genesis shoot 'em ups on the Xbox, Wings of War or War it came on there because that's one of the games I talked about. So you'll be surprised who listens to your videos, man. You know what I mean? So this is a great game, guys, to play. Is Rambo, the First Blood Part 2. Now, we got here is we got another one. This is a shooting one, right? This one might even be a little bit more expensive to get for the Master System, and that is Rambo 3. There's Rambo 3 in its entirety, in box complete. Now, this is the shooting one, okay? It looks like a shooting gallery one. You know what I mean? So that's another one again. I think this one is a little bit more sought after. You know what I mean? This one here is in great condition, and it is also complete too. Rambo 3 I got at the Red, White, and Blue store for $2. $2. So that's another great game to collect for your Master System is the Rambo collection that came out on there. Now this one here is called Sideboard Hunter. This is actually it's played on the Sega Master System, directed by Activision. Oh boy, Activision, huh? This is back in the day when Activision kind of used to be good. I guess they were good back in the day. You know what I mean? A lot of people hate Activision today, but this is called Cyborg Hunter. Check that out. Now, if you look at the artwork on this is a little bit cooler, right? Kind of reminds you of a Sega Genesis artwork in case. But yes, very retro looking. If you take a look at that, it's very, very retro looking, like an 80s sci-fi movie. Exactly what it looks like. You know what I mean? It kind of looks like a Cylon, right? From if you look at the character here, kind of looks like a Cylon, right? From Battlestar Galactica. If you look at him closely, kind of looks like the old school Cylon from Battlestar Galactica that was out in the 80s. But this is what this one looked like, guys. The artwork is a lot better than what I showed you on the other ones. And then it shows you a little bit of the game on the back. You know what I mean? So that's another great game. Another one that came out, again, played for on the Sega by Activision, is Rampage. Check that out, guys. For you guys that didn't know, Rampage was on the Sega Master System. Look at the artwork on there. The artwork is beautiful on these games. And when they started making some artwork for some of the Master System shell casing, very awesome, very awesome, man. They did a fantastic job with that. It looks very retro, 80s like, and they did a great job with that with the red background there, and then the artwork of Rampage. This is also complete. It even has a little Rampage logo on the game itself. But this is also awesome too. So that is also complete. Rampage. This was from the Red, White, and Blue store. $2. Now Cyborg Hunter, I didn't show you guys. That's also complete. Just wanted to show you real quick. That's also, whoa. Hope it didn't break. But that's also complete. Some of these tabs in here come loose, but that's also complete in box. It's good. It's good to go. If you hear something shaking in there, you might have broke something. But they did a fantastic job on that artwork too. And I forgot about one. I forgot about actually one. A Sega Master System card, which was a game called Spy vs. Spy. Check that out. This is actually by the Mad magazine. If you look real closely, you'll see by here it says Mad. And there used to be a Mad magazine that was out in the, I think like the 70s. It could have been even earlier. They like the early 70s. There was and up to the 80s called the Mad magazine. My uncles had a ton of those. They loved it, the Mad magazines. But it was made, or it was I guess it was from it came from an idea from Mad magazine. You know what I mean? And that's Spy versus Spy. That's another one. The artwork on here, if you see, is really well done. It's not anybody holding a cartridge. It's kind of retro-like. You know what I mean? But they did a good job with the artwork. And let's open that bad boy up. Oh, very nice. Cartridge is also very nice with some artwork on it in the book. Very nice. Very nice. A fantastic job on that, man. This one here, I don't think I got this one there. I think I got this at the exchange a long time ago for like $5. You know what I mean? So that's another great one there. Another good one here we have is called Aerial Assault. This is a great 8-bit shmup game, side-scrolling shmup game called Aerial Assault. This is another one that was from the Red, White, and Blue store, I believe, for $2. Nice artwork. I think later on they started making better artwork, you know, for the shell casings of the Master System games. Very nice artwork, guys. It shows some of the game on the back, if you can see that. Very nice 8-bit shoot 'em up, actually. Very nice. And this also is complete with a nice clean book that is not wrinkled. Let's make sure my game doesn't fall out. You know what I mean? So, very well done. Very nice. It's very hard to find these games with the art books and stuff every day, man. Now, this one is made by Taito. It's an arcade classic. It's an arcade game. It's made by Taito, and it's called, if I say it right, Rystan. This is a great game that he kind of looks like he kind of looks like He-Man a little bit. Rystan. I think it's called Rystan. Yeah, I've played this game actually in the arcade, you know, in the arcade cabinet. But this is a Master System version of it. Very nice quality artwork on the front. Everything you see in here, very detailed. Very detailed in the artwork and very retro looking. You know what I'm saying? So, another great game that came out for them was Rystan. That is also complete in its box. You know what I mean? Now, this one I did find at the Red, White, and Blue for $2. This game is probably a little bit more expensive right now if you want to find it out there in the wild. Like I said, I got these games a long time ago. I had these way before I was even married. You know what I mean? So, it's a very good, very good game. Very awesome game. The next one we have here, we got one left after that. This is called Fantasy Zone: The Maze. It's a 1 mega cartridge. Check that out, man. This is a really awesome game. The artwork is kind of retro looking. You know what I mean? Fantasy Zone has a side scrolling shoot 'em up also. But this is the maze. And as you can see on it, it looks like kind of like a Pac-Man game, but it is really cool and it's a very, very fun game. These games definitely have went up in price. This one is also complete in its box. You know what I mean? Looks brand new just about. That one almost, see? You gotta watch with these tabs. You gotta make sure these games are in good. But that's what it looked like. And it's a fun game. I've had some fun playing this game when I got it. This one I believe I got at the exchange. I think this was like $5, man. You know what I mean? But that's also another great game for your Sega Master System 1 or 2. Now the last one we got here is a very, very good game that I wish they would make a remake of and it come out on the newer systems, like the Series S and the Series X. You know what I mean? It would be nice to see Sega bring this back, but with like these gen graphics and mechanics. It would be awesome to see this game. It is an arcade hit by Sega. It's called Alien Syndrome. This is a 2 mega cartridge. Alien Syndrome. They did a great job. If you look like, kind of looks like from the movie Aliens character. Alien Syndrome is a really awesome game that was on the Sega Master System. Very beautiful artwork there. They did a great job with that. You can see some of the game on. You can actually see. Let me turn that over. You can actually see some of the artwork on the back and what the game looks like. You know, but it's another one. This is actually one that I picked up there also for $2. And this one is also complete. Also complete, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yes, it's over 30 minutes, but when you talk about retro gaming and how you preserve it, the video is going to take longer. If you're a true diehard retro collector of video games and a fan of retro gaming, you will watch this video in its entirety. You know what I mean? So you can learn from the collector that you're watching. You know what I mean? Now, a lot of people are always interested in the Alpha podcast, the videos that I do about Xbox and the bullcrap out here in the gaming community. Yes, that's part of my channel. But what's also part of my channel is also being retro gamer and collector. That's how I started when I first started doing YouTube. And I'm always going to do these videos sometimes so you guys get an idea of what Sega Man collects for and what Sega Man plays. And it might give you some ideas to go out there. It might get you inspired to go out there and find these systems and find these games, man. Because some of these games you can actually get dirt cheap if you find it on eBay. But you got to make sure when you look at those games that the pins are not worn out, rusty, or anything. Ask questions before you get these games. All right, before they send them to you, because sometimes people will tell you this game is $2. Let's say they had Alien Syndrome right now, just a cartridge for $2, and you have to pay shipping. The cartridge can be worn down, cracked, anything. Ask if make sure they have a good picture of it. You know what I mean, and make sure if you can contact them. Can I see the pins that go into that are in the cartridge itself that goes into the system to make sure that when you get that it plays in the system when you get a system. All right. So guys, take care. Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody. I want to thank everybody that has subscribed to me. I really appreciate it. I'm very happy with all my subscribers. I'm very happy to all the Alpha brothers that follow me on my podcast that I have on the weekends with my brother. He bought Tuck and ODT Reaper, and even my brother E-Rock when he can make it, and always Unlimited Productions, man. Uh, very, very, very good gaming brothers out there in the community, man. I want to thank every one of you that support me and subscribe to me. I really appreciate it. Like I said before, you don't have to subscribe to me to come and rock out with me in the Alpha podcast and enjoy my videos if you don't want to. Just it's a choice. Just like Xbox gives you a choice because I'm not in this for money. I'm in it for the passion and the love to preserve gaming as a collector and gaming as a whole. All right? Peace and love, guys. Xbox for life. We don't die, we multiply. And oh, yeah, you know my slogan and my saying, guys. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. You will see a couple more videos from me, and I'm going to do more podcasts when I'm off, man, and more hangouts, all right? We're eating good over here on the Xbox side, all right? Peace and love. All right, guys? Be safe. Wear your mask, guys. I'm out of here. Peace. Have a great week.